like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in the cage, I'ma let out the.
Hello there. Welcome to my channel. My name is Faith Dodger and I'm literally the girl next door. This is Stonehenge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the world's most famous prehistoric monument. Are you curious to know more about this? Then watch this video to the end. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Stonehenge has always been on our bucket list, so we set out for Salisbury to uncover the mystery behind it. Stonehenge is a unique prehistoric temple aligned with the movements of the sun. Built in stages between 3000 and 2200 BC, it is the only stone circle in the world to have lintels, the horizontal stones sitting on top of the uprights. Its architecture reveals the sophisticated minds and engineering ability of the people who built it, the late Neolithic people of Great Britain. Stonehenge stands within a landscape that includes prehistoric monuments and burial lands dating from before, during, and after the Stonehenge was built. This exhibition marks the start of the tour. It's a 360-degree film which shows how Stonehenge looked at different stages. The ditch was dug using picks made from deer antlers. Originally, the entire circle would have been chalk white. When the builders finished the enclosure, they placed the animal bones, flint, tools, and carved chalk objects in the ditch, perhaps as offerings. Inside the ditch was a ring of 56 pits, which probably held timber posts or standing stones. Many of these holes contained human cremated remains, which were also found in the ditch and on the bank. An estimated 150 people were buried here between about 3000 and 2800 BC. In its earliest phase, one of the functions of Stonehenge was a cemetery. I found something quite interesting here. Homes of the builders of Stonehenge. This site has got a striking resemblance to that of an African village setting. Do you agree with me? Come along. Who built Stonehenge? The stones were raised into place in about 2500 BC during the late Neolithic period. People at this time probably led somewhat nomadic lifestyles, moving with the seasons, heading pigs and cattle and returning regularly to the same places. The people who built Stonehenge were farmers and pastoralists, but they may have traveled some distances to take part in the project. Some of the blue stones were even thought to have previously stood in a stone circle in Wales. These people were using a type of pottery called groved ware, a flat-based pottery which is usually decorated with geometric lines and shapes. It's a type of pottery found in large parts of Britain and Ireland at this time. It seems to emerge first at Orkney in the far north of Scotland. The people who built Stonehenge had connections to other parts of these islands and shared ideas and styles of pottery. What makes Stonehenge unique is the arrangement of its stones and the fact that they were brought from long distances. There are two kinds of stones. The larger ones are sarsens, a type of hard stone brought from the Marlborough Downs, 15 miles to the north. Sarsens can weigh over 30 tons. The tallest one here stands over 7 meters high, with another 2.5 meters below the ground. The smaller stones inside the circle, still weighing up to 3 tons, are called the blue stones. They are actually a variety of volcanic rocks, all with a blue-grey color. They were brought from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales, 150 miles away. The stones were brought over land using sledges and ropes, and probably along rivers and around the coast by boat. Each different successive stage of extracting the stones, transporting over long distances, shaping and working them, and then raising them into position would have taken hundreds of people. Those involved were not simply those doing these tasks, but also people supporting them, making the equipment such as ropes and timber sledges and scaffolding, feeding the workers on a regular basis, and looking after their children. There must have been quite a complex system where people came to take part in this vast project, perhaps traveling from their homes for several months at a time. We don't know how society was organized at this time. There's no hint of hierarchy or particular people being an elite, but the project must have been well organized and people must have had certain specialist roles in surveying, designing, and organizing the building of the monument. The people who constructed Stonehenge aligned the earthwork entrance and the avenue with the movements of the sun. Notice the bronze arrow in the ground marking the solstice axis. If you were standing in the stone circle at mid-Sabbath's day, you'd see the sun rise over the heel stone in this direction. Similarly, if you were standing here on mid-winter's day, you'd watch the sun set in the opposite direction. The setting sun would have been framed between the two uprights of the tallest trilithon on the far side of the stone circle. The winter would have been a very difficult time. They needed the return of longer days and the warmth of the sun to grow their crops and feed their animals. Perhaps Stonehenge was a sort of calendar or a place where seasons were celebrated. People may have gathered here at midwinter and midsummer to celebrate and conduct rituals. Some archaeologists believe that the stone circle may not have been completed at all. Some of the stones seem too narrow or short to have supported lintels. The stones on this side, which probably wasn't built so well, were the first to fall over. Some must have been broken up and taken away. These stones may have been a source of building materials for early roads, buildings, and farms around the area. An advantage to viewing Stonehenge from this less complete side is that you have a good view of the inner horseshoe and some of the small blue stones. The reason why Stonehenge was built still remains a mystery. There are different theories to this place. Some suggest it to have been a place of healing. The stones of Stonehenge were believed to have healing powers. Oral traditions suggest that the Preseli Hills, where the stones came from, have magical properties, and at Stonehenge, people were breaking up and removing chunks of blue stone from an early date in the monument's history, perhaps taking them away like amulets. A trilithon, from the Greek for 3 stones, is made of 2 upright stones and 1 horizontal lintel. Some of these have now fallen. Stonehenge wasn't all built at the same time. Instead, the monument was built and rearranged over a period of about 1,000 years. Many people today have a spiritual connection to Stonehenge. They say it is a particularly special place where it is possible to communicate directly with those who lived in the distant past, with nature, and is a place to experience the harmony of people and the world. Many attend winter and summer solstices and also the equinoxes. The circle is opened up for these events. Some would refer to themselves as Druids, others as pagans or Wicca. Others wouldn't name themselves anything, but they are spiritually aware and find something at Stonehenge that is more meaningful than more formal aspects of other religions. Many people come to solstice celebrations to simply witness the sun rise and step outside their everyday lives.